Please, my people, I want us to listen to this Canayo TV program from Afia News Entertainment. I can bet you will never regret the data you waste on watching this. Your data can never be a waste. Please listen to him. A lot of insights, a lot of wisdoms are being shared on this broadcast. I don't want to take much of your time. The program is very long, but please spare me your time and watch it from beginning to the end. I'll be right back.
Welcome to this edition of KOK Live on Afia TV. You're watching us on channel 254 DSTV or channel 17 Go TV. Or other social media platform of After TV official. That's where you get us. We're glad again to bring you another edition. It's going to be super on a transformer, because the topic is not just one that will keep you on your seat, but it's on a topic that will make you rediscover who you are as a Nigerian or an African. So we'll come again today with the dance for freedom in an imperial state. Are we truly free to determine our fate as a nation? And I want to start it with a comment made by Samuel Ononaka Mbakwe, PhD, former governor Old Imo State. That's when you had a combination of Abia and Imo as one. And he said that the British left too early. Our guest today, Mr. Brother, Mr. Chilakanjoko, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Did the British leave too early?
Have they left? I think that's more of a...
You tell me.
I don't think they've gone anywhere. They're still here. They're all over the place. You know, do we know the amount of oil we drill? Do we determine what happens to the oil we produce and other natural resources? We have no clue. Maybe some people knew, a few people who are in government who got to find out what's actually going on. Because Nigeria is a business entity for Britain. It's an ongoing, a registered business entity that they're making money from. Mm-hmm. It's not just Britain that is in Africa. We also have other, colonial masters who are still moving around. I spoke about these things years back. People thought I was maybe being too harsh. But the reality is coming alive. Things happen in Burkina Faso and Nigeria and all that. So it's clear that these people are feeding off Africa, and they still are. What they did, they restructured the exploitation from the direct approach to an indirect approach. So that's what it is.
If you remember the coupists in Niger, they made reference to France being a big elephant in the room, that some terrorists or bandits will be captured and France will say, let them go. Is that a popular case in Nigeria?
It's obvious. It's the same thing running across Africa. I'll tell you a little story. I was told, I don't want to call names on this, but I was told that when Kaduna and Zobo was in junior secondary, they were asked to write an essay when they went on holiday. Mm. And he came back. The colonial masters were here then. And he came back. And what he wrote about was how he would send the white people packing from Africa when he became a leader. This was when he was still, below JS3. So, the situation has been the same. It's only perception that the West constantly try to create a different perception to what they are doing. But for those of us who have remained conscious of the impact, you can easily relate it to what started from the colonialism that started. It's never changed. It's about economical gains. It's about holding us down so that we don't become a competition for them. That's what they're doing. So they're very intentional in what they're doing, and what they're doing is obvious. The communication age is exposing it more. Mm. In the past, they were doing it seamlessly without people knowing. Mm. France is on the open. Everybody knows what they're doing now. It's just a matter of people getting...
And they call the bluff for France.
Exactly. So people are going to call them out and going to stand up.
What happened to we call the bluff of Britain?
Well, it took a big shake-up like a, what do you call it, the Big Bang. There was a coup. There was a revolution. We're yet to have a revolution. We're near one during the last political elections, but it didn't totally go through. So someday, somehow, it will happen. I'm sure they are strategizing. They're strategizing what next to do, seeing what's happening with France. They're planning what next to do. You know, we're watching them. We're seeing all the pawns move. You know, we'll get to that point.
And you think there won't be a conspiracy amongst our own people?
Obvious, that's how they...
Because that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, they're going
to somebody who agrees with whatever policy they want to make.
I'll ask a question. Boko Haram has been tormenting us for years. You know, how difficult is it when we knew exactly where they were at the beginning to flush them out? Why did people refuse to sell arms to Goodluck Jonathan, connecting it to accepting gay marriage? How do you expose 250 million people to terrorism because of gay? What's the importance of gay marriage compared to what Boko Haram has done here? So it's obvious. They always find, this will sit down and brainstorm on what they do. They're not impulsive. The problem we have is that we are not sitting down to plan how to counter them. And they come in with the usual divide and rule, like what has been happening in the Francophone countries. When a leader stands up to France, there's going to be a coup somewhere. He's taken out. He's killed. A whole lot of them, I don't want to start counting them, that have died that way. Thomas Sankara was wasted. Even Kwame Nkrumah, a lot of them were put down because they wanted to say the truth. So the ones that are there now learned something different. They got a backbone before they struck. So there's someone standing behind them. That's why they're still standing. If not, they would have been taken out. So maybe we should start looking at who could be that big brother that could stand behind the Nigerian who chooses to revolt. Because the present leaders we have now are conformist. I can say that for free.
Unfortunately, that's the situation we find ourselves. And the way it looks, what they now do with African leaders is the same-sex marriage thing. If you don't accept it, we don't give you aid, we'll fight you, and so on. How does it make you feel?
It was quite heartbreaking that someone...
You remember the case of Uganda? Uganda said no.
Yes.
And so on.
Now one case here, how was Goodluck Jonathan removed from power? Our economy was growing at 12%, about the best globally. And somebody who wants to be reckoned as a world leader chose to support someone who took us into the drain from an economy. So it shows you clearly what positive interest do they have in Nigeria, if not destruction. How could you have... If you actually claim you wanted Nigeria or Africa to develop, like they claim, using UN as their tools to destroy this place and World Bank, you see someone got it right, the economy is growing at 12%, you decide to change that government to bring in someone who has not shown any competency of any type in leadership or solving any problem. So, it's obvious these people have no positive interest in changing the narrative in Africa. Let me ask you a question. How many times do you see a picture of Nigeria and CNN and you see Banana Island?
No, you will never say that.
You will see Yanakwaja.
Yes.
You see the ghettos.
The downtrodden part.
But when they want to show us New York, they show us Manhattan.
Yes.
They don't show us downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah, they don't.
The places that the pirates are broken, where they have...
they don't even show us port-belly policemen and so on.
Exactly. So they don't show us the smart policemen we have. It's the ones that are rackety. They have ugly policemen as well in America. They have beggars everywhere in New York. They won't show you that. I have to argue some people sometimes that there are no beggars in New York. You see, this is the impression, that's the press. So, like I said, they plan in depth what they do. They sit down and do brainstorming sessions of months and months on what's the next line of action. What they want to do with us in 10 years, they already know. The question is, what intel do we have? What strategy do we have to counter it? Whoever has to stop this colonialism has to be totally detailed and speakless. Some of our brothers have tried to, revolt. But the way they went about it, I don't want to call names as well. The way they went about it, before they started, everyone knew where they were going. So that is not how to solve this.
So is that second slavery, kind of?
Yes. We're still under slavery. That's the simple truth.
And the liberation, at what cost do you think it's going to come to us?
There's no revolution that has come without a cost, a big cost. And I mean, the depth of what they've done and how much they actually rely on our resources for their own place to work is so deep that it's going to be an expensive change. It might take lives, it might take a lot of other things, but it's not going to be cheap. Because someone who has a source of livelihood will not give it up easily. They will fight for it. Like France is struggling already with the removal of 3 states. They're already struggling.
Yeah, the Sahel.
Yes. So imagine when the rest of their, the countries that they are holding hostage, like Cameroon and Gabon and others, when they walk away, what will happen to France as a country? They will fall on their knees. Who were they before they came to Africa? That's the first question. Who were these countries before they came to Africa? They were busy eating rotten milk and cheese. What is cheese? I always ask people.
Yeah, cheese is
it's a product of some decay.
Yes.
Something you couldn't preserve properly and it decays. Yes. They learn to eat it.
Goes into yogurt and so on.
Yes. So in Africa we don't eat stuff like that. We drank fresh milk. We ate green vegetables. We were living like kings and queens before they came here. And they've been stealing from here since then. All the natural resources are here. They refuse to let them go. The aircrafts that are landing in some northern part of Nigeria where we claim there is like people can't go there, but aircrafts are landing there and living with natural resources. America doesn't see that. But they saw nuclear weapons that didn't exist in Iraq, and they went to take out Saddam Hussein. They saw things that didn't exist in Libya, and they went to kill Muammar Gaddafi because he spoke about one African currency and shutting down Africa.
And I think Muammar Gaddafi was the one who said that AIDS is America's way of discouraging sex or something like that.
To reduce population growth.
Yes. Now, I all my travels in the United States, I'm all about the civilized world, kind of.
Yeah.
I never saw a billboard talking about AIDS is real, this and that. But everywhere you go here,
in Africa is here.
Yeah. So why do you think it's like that? Is it's not real?
I wouldn't say it's not real. I speak to things that I have authority over. I don't know, medically I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how real it is, but I've seen people who are sick of AIDS. I've seen people who have HIV. The question is it natural? Or is it man-made just like COVID? I refuse to take the vaccination for COVID. I quarrel with some of my friends who are conformists. They are very educated, very well traveled and exposed like myself. They chose to take the vaccine. I told them no vaccine is produced under 1 year. None. Not in the history of mankind. So why is this one different? So it's 2 things. Either that vaccine is not going to work, or it's something that's been planned. Why was it planned? What I don't understand, I don't deal with. So I refuse to take it. I refuse my family to take it. COVID today, Dr. What's his name? The American Center for Disease Control man. He's now being prosecuted. Then Jesus Christ of COVID, telling us how he came and where he goes. So they create diseases now. It's biological weapon. They create diseases. They create also capitalism. And that, it's all mixed up. There's a little bit of capitalism. The pharmaceuticals want to sell drugs. Then there is the criminality of trying to cut down population. The likes of Bill Gates suddenly become benevolent, in one particular direction. He's not interested in people feeding. But he's interested in other things, that will cut down world population. What's his interest in world population? The world has its way of purging itself. There are natural ways of population being reduced. You can see it is in the wild. It will happen. So why create diseases or empower existing or genetically twist existing viruses so we can't survive them anymore? So it's complicated. The black mind is multiplying faster than the thought, and we're more resilient because we are more original. Everybody in the West migrated from Africa by history. They don't want to accept it. The same way they cloned Christianity. Christianity is a clone.
We're going to talk about that. Does Nigeria have any reason, to celebrate on October 1st, 2024? Do we have any reason to celebrate?
October 1st. Well, we're supposed to have reason to celebrate, but we don't. There is nothing to celebrate. Nothing changed.
Independence from what?
Yes.
Was there really an independence, economically and so on?
You see, like I said, theoretically there was a change, but practically nothing happened. So the only change is style of slavery. It's just like you work for me, okay, and I say, okay, you can go and now come in as a contractor. You're still doing the same job, but you're coming as a contractor or a consultant, but you're still doing the same job. That's what they did. They structured some things, including our oil. They planned how they're gonna, milk us. And our people agreed and signed. So why not? It's better they even do it from home, so they don't have to be here. So it was a better and more easy way of exploiting us than they chose.
Yeah, you see, I don't know how many African games have gone to the Olympics. We play Ludo here, we play draft, we play Seki, those other ones. Very good.
Yes.
It's just part of the alienation. That they don't accept anything we bring.
I always tell people, if you are waiting for the day someone will come fight for you, you will wait forever.
Yeah.
So like the Igbo adage that says, if a young man does not show stubbornness, a wife will not be gotten for him. Stubbornness, you know what it means?
Yes.
So, if we're waiting for the white man to say, oh, it's the Africans' turn, let's bring in their games, we're joking. The people who have the mouth to speak for us are their stooges. That's the problem. So, like I said, because they are very strategic, they pick us at the point. It's like you want to change something, you go to the little kids and start twisting them around. Before they get into adulthood, they're already structured the way you want them to be. So that's what they're doing. They're dealing with our people at the startup stage because they're very strategic. We're easily influenced by things of the moment, the fancy things. The African man is created that way. They understand that we're also very hospitable and we're very moral. These people are totally immoral. They have no conscience. They are cold.
Is there a problem with the black man?
I think our origin, okay,
because nothing we do ever seems to work. Is it because we lean on these people, or we trust them so much that they have superiority or what?
Okay, let me run you through something. In the West, back in the days, the summers were quite much shorter than it is now. So they have a little window to grow crops. So they were forced to learn how to maximize that window. That's how they revolutionized agriculture. Here, we never knew about plantations and growing crops because most of the mangroves, most of the palm fruits that are in my village were not planted. They grow on their own. Who goes to seek what they already have? So we had no need to think about revolution because our land was green. Things were growing. We had sufficient food. A lot of fruits we didn't even discover. They were growing in the wild and dying because we had sufficient. We're not pushed to think out of the box. We're in our comfort zone. These people were left with hunting to survive because they couldn't grow enough food. So in that quest to be able to hunt, they started developing arms and weapons. You see how the evolution started? Now, in the food part, they started thinking of learning how to store their food. That's how they started storing milk. And they decayed, gave birth to yogurt. They had no alternative. They had to eat the yogurt. And over the years, they developed tests for yogurt. The cheese as well is a product of this decaying, there. That's how all these things came about. Now, someone will bring cheese to us in Africa as a luxurious food, and we're eating it. We have fresh vegetables, we have our soup, we have fufu, we have egusi soup, we have a dikaiko, and our people
they rather cost our people
pizza
to reject these things
mental
and
slavery.
Embrace their own so that they have more.
An average girl would tell them, I don't eat
fufu.
She would go for cheese
and shawarma.
Decayed dairy, that's what it is.
That's decayed dairy.
So this is just, you see, because like I said before, because they're highly strategic and they plan what they do, they wait for us at the next bus stop before we get there. We're comfortable. We don't need to struggle a lot to survive. We have summer 12 months of the year. There's no time in the year I cannot go out with a sleeveless shirt. So but the white man can't do that in the West. You have to plan it. It has to be in summer. So because of the difficulties they have, like they say, tough times make strong men. They were forced Like the Vikings. The Vikings were stuck in the Scandinavian countries when it was basically ice the whole year. They couldn't eat anything. They had only one choice: to steal. They became thieves. They waited for people on the high sea. When you're transporting goods, they steal. As they stole over time, they said, listen, where is this thing coming from? Why don't we go get it from the source?
Exactly.
That's how they invaded. Even England was invaded by Vikings. The royal family we're looking at in England today is mostly descendants of Vikings. So these people were prompted to evolve in volatile ways, and also ways that became innovative, like feeding, the farming, and all that. Yeah, we didn't have any need. So it's not because we're lazy. It's because we didn't have need to evolve any further. People don't go seeking what they already have. We had enough food. What are you planting more for? We didn't know about trading to anybody. We had enough to eat. I think that is the real problem we have.
Well, what religion they brought to us, let me say they brought to us, has it been a blessing? Just like the oil, discovery, and so on, has it been a blessing? But let's discuss the religion first.
Okay, these guys got here. The first set of people that came here, they had to study us to know how best to come and conquer us. They found out we were very religious.
Yes.
Courtesy of our African traditional religion. They went back to bring us Christianity. Christianity itself is, what we're seeing now is a cloned Christianity.
Okay.
When
so you have to explain to us what that clone is.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
When the then emperor in Rome, Constantine, realized that Christianity was like the followers of Trump. The followers of Trump, even if you tell them Trump is a thief, they'll see follow him.
They'll tell you he's a good thief.
So they were very, very, religious, and they were very, very dedicated to following Christ because of the death and resurrection. So they saw a rebellion coming to destroy the Roman Empire. So he had to protect the empire by aligning with that religion. Predominantly, the Roman Empire was doing sun god worshipping. So they had to fuse Christianity with the worship of the sun god. That's why when people hear Sunday, they don't know what it means. They don't ask. When people celebrate Christmas, they don't check, was Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Or they have just said, it doesn't matter when he was born.
In spirituality, don't play with stuff like that. Time is of essence. Date is of essence. Name is of essence. The name Jesus, was that the name of the man who died on the cross? The answer is no. It's Yahshua. Easter, was Jesus Christ killed on Easter Sunday? The answer is no. Easter is a different feast altogether. But most Christians, the way they came to, I always ask, when you pick up the Bible, at Revolution, they said, whoever adds or removes from this book
shall.
That is colonialism. That is manipulation. So, after that book was written, God stopped communicating. Yeah. Okay, did God write the Bible? Some of these books are 200,000 years apart. None of the 12 disciples were educated to write. Some of those books were written 200 years after they were dead. So now the question is, what's the intention of the person who's trying to stop you from adding or removing?
Okay.
That is logical reasoning. That is rational reasoning. So these people were very intentional in creating that religion. There is a God. I personally believe there is a God. God presented himself to every people on earth in different ways. The Hindus, God came to them.
Yeah.
The Buddhists, Buddha also has the story of the virgin birth. Yes, Buddha. Same story. It's 2,000 years older than Christianity. So, I believe God, that's my own belief that guides me, that God appeared to everybody or presented himself to everybody so that we all love and worship him. He's a divine being. He's the mother nature that we hear about.
Does that then inform how people shout at the top of your voice in Nigeria and Africa? Whereas the white man just is so quiet about the worship. Does it mean God manifested himself in different ways that we have to shout here for God to hear?
We're not original. Everything we're doing in Christianity is fake. Yeah, it's part of the fake things. When things are fake, you don't know how they manifest. You go and cross an Alsatian dog with a Rottweiler, see what you get. you might get a dog that doesn't bark. So it's a product of cloning. So when things are original, you can determine and predict a pattern of behavior and presentation. That's what's going on. So the Christianity has gone haywire in Africa. You travel across the world. When you are in Britain and you go to church, how many Caucasians do you see in church?
You see in church, yes.
So they know what they sold to us. It was a dummy. They've achieved what they want to achieve with their step count. And
our people are now the ones propagating it.
Yes, we're selling priests to them. We're carrying it in our head. We're screaming. We have to speak in tongues. It's a concept that is so clear. Speaking in languages. There was a gathering of people of different languages, and God wanted to communicate to them. And He made His disciples or His apostles speak in such a way that everybody heard in their own language. Now people speak rubbish, and they say they're speaking in tongues. Who prompted the apostles that day to speak in tongues? Like people will go into church, a pastor will say, "Let us pray in tongues." So what rubbish? And people shut down their brains when they walk into a church and they refuse to think because they don't want to challenge the status quo. Thanks to the original plan from what's in the revolution. Don't add or remove, don't question. Whatever you're told is what it is.
Do you think we have the temerity or the courage to question or challenge the status quo? Do you think a time may come?
It's near. How many young people still go to church on Sunday?
That's a topic that we will have to bring somebody Sunday to the podcast here, because I have had people say why I stopped going to church. We need to bring that as a topic. But in the area of, we know what is happening to Dangote and so on, and the natural resources given to us. It's still being, does that inform why we take the oil from here in its crude nature and send it abroad for refining, bring it back here?
We're still locked up in colonialism. The products belong to someone. I said that at the beginning. We don't know what is planned for our oil. It's what we see that we take. Now, the oil, I heard that, what's his name? Abacha was killed because of oil, because of refineries, getting them, not shutting them down. They want us to shut down. These are ways of making the world away from us. We drill crude, we send to them the process, come up with several products, times 10 the price of the crude, and sell to us. What easier way can you take money away from someone than that? In the moment, we're a big market, 200 million people.
Very big market.
Yeah. So Shell will not leave you under any condition. They know what they're doing here. Mobi will not leave. I've worked in the oil rigs, so I know what happens. When we're getting records of what is drilled from Texas, why should that be? Can't you put a meter here and see what we drill? The information goes to Texas before it comes back to Nigeria. This is a crazy situation. Our leaders have just, out of fear, the bullet that will kill you as a man, you don't hear the sound.
You don't hear the sound.
So why does that worry you as a man? When you want to fight, you go out all and fight. If you decided to lead, you are ready to sacrifice your life for the people. That's what it takes. So those who are scared to die should stay away from leadership. If Africa must change.
Those who are afraid to die must stay away from leadership.
Yes. Those who are in power now are not leaders. They are clowns, I will say it again. Any day, they are clowns. They don't understand what leadership is. President Trump took a bullet on his ear. And while they were still trying to take him out, he was still raising his hand to show solidarity to his people.
Hey, what does that mean?
That's the man who's willing to lead. I mean, Trump is a comfortable man. He has no business to go into governance. He said this so many times. I have my issues with him, but it's not a topic for today. But I'm just trying to, take a leaf from it for our leaders. How many of them will do that? They are cowards, all of them. Cowards. They can't stand up to the Westerners and say, no, get out from Africa. The only thing that was Muammar Gaddafi's offense. That's why he's dead today.
Yeah.
He stood and fought for
Muammar Gaddafi kept on saying, they are setting you up against me when I go.
Yes, you understand.
You will understand.
Look at Libya.
Since then, Libya has
Look at Libya. They will see
because in Libya before now, I know very well, almost everyone had a house. If you graduated from university, you graduated $5,000 or more. And so
you get married, they give you a house, give you money.
So on.
Strong social system. They saw that resonating across Africa. What that means is that we will have a lot of powers to evolve.
Even establishing the is it Central Bank of Africa or Africa's World Bank?
Yes, they want a Central African Bank with one currency. Yes, they will never let that happen. If China didn't shut its doors, China won't be China today.
Yeah,
and that's what Muammar Gaddafi wanted to do, and they won't let him. Because the other African stooges, not leaders. Because if they were leaders, they would have understood his language. They didn't understand. It was taking too long to convince them. Look at what happened in Nigeria and Burkina Faso. If all the African leaders resonated the same voice and shut down Africa, there's nothing they would have done. Unless they're going to come on outright warfare and come and destroy us with nuclear weapons. You know. So okay, let me pick a little bit on democracy.
Yes.
It's a fraud. Democracy is a fraud. The 4 years tenure is criminality.
Okay.
No unevolved country can evolve in 4 years. You give them a breather to see where we're going, to change it. Go and look at them. None of them evolved under democracy. None of the Western countries evolved. They are stopping us from developing with democracy. Like Fela will say, when teacher teach something,
Student
no get am.
No get that.
He go talk now. So why are you keeping quiet? Each time they do bad, wrong, false, created numbers in elections, they keep quiet. And you come to want to tell me about democracy? I wish I could get one-on-one with some of these leaders. That's it that they are not being told by leaders. I'll tell them to their face. They're ashamed. They should be ashamed. They should never look at Africa. They should cover their face when they look at Africa.
Now, if you had the opportunity of being president of Nigeria for 72 hours, 1 week, what are the 3 most critical things you want done?
Foreign policy, I'm going to change all of it.
Change it from what to what?
I'm going to shut down the country. Lock it up.
Do you need to shut down an airport because there's a construction major one going on?
No, not airport. What I mean is...
No, I'm just saying...
economically. I'm going to force us to depend on ourselves. And we will evolve. The demand, if there are no cars in Nigeria to buy anymore, the demand for cars will force people to build cars. Trust me on that. The demand for cars, the base technology is already here. We know what it is. During the war in Nigeria, didn't the Biafran army build bombs?
Just a winning and so on.
Of course. So when we say we're not importing cars from anybody anymore, cars will come out of this country. Our steel will function by force. The need for it, we force it. If only these criminals out there will let us be. Well, that's the first policy I will go for. Secondly, I will restructure the country entirely.
What manner of restructure are you going to carry out for the benefit of our listeners?
Well, we might look at the existing lines, the regional lines. We have 3 regions before. The smaller, the more difficult to succeed. So I'd rather go for 3 regions instead of 6. Yes.
3 regions.
The smaller the units, what you call business of scale. When you want to, for example, produce rice, if you are producing 10 bags and your profit is 100 naira, your 100 times 10 is 1,000. If you produce 10,000 bags and produce 100, 50 naira, you make more profit. So the bigger the unit, the federating unit, the easier it is to succeed, the faster you can hit the ground running. So that's the reason why I would go for 3 units or 2. Northern, Southern Nigeria, or the original 3 that we used to have. I even subscribe more to Northern and Southern Nigeria. Because the tribes in this country complement each other in very, very interesting ways. But because we look at the bad ones, because of the seeds sown into our brains. So what we see is what is wrong with the Yoruba man, what is wrong with the Hausa man. But I tell you, every single person has what they bring to the table. When you have, let me tell you, it's a Christmas day and 5-6 families decide to dine together. Can you imagine what that dining table will be, the kind of food you have on that? You have more variety of things to eat. Maybe a Calabar man brings this food and Hausa man brings this food. And when you just have one family, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The more the merrier.
Yeah, but then, in the words of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nigeria is just a mere geographical expression. So,
a match of African expression. Is that what you
a mere geographical expression.
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
We. That's why you see those lines.
It goes to exemplify that we are tolerating ourselves. Not that the diversity we all talk about. There are too many colors on it, too many differences.
Yeah.
I remember a quote either by Tafa Balewa when it says, let's something with our differences. They say, let's understand our differences. And one disagreed with the other. It's part of history. So this diversity we keep on talking about, do you think we are not just a mere geographical expression, tolerating each other?
What we see most of the time is a function of our mindset. Yes. If you walk into this place and you're a businessman, you start seeing things you can sell and how you can make money. If a pastor comes here, he starts seeing the spiritual connection of things. If a mechanic comes here, he starts seeing parts that can be reusable to repair cars. So we're sort of limited a lot of times to what is in our mind. So this diversity that will cause strength, yes, it can be a strength. At the same time, it can be a problem. It's just like you pour water into a cup. You can call it half full or half empty. Depends on what you want to see. So we have been doctored from the times of independence to see this people as that, see this people as that, see that like that.
Yeah, because Nigeria was supposed to have its independence in 1957, but the North said it was not ready.
That was not the North speaking. That was the West speaking. They had not finished the structure, the strategy they wanted to use to keep us forever. Because the Northerners are a great tool for them. They're using it. They're using the Northerners to keep Nigeria the way it is. If only they understand that, they will understand to relate more with their brothers and to trust King Charles and his cohorts in the West. Look at the unholy relationship between Britain and America. I call it unholy.
Unholy. I want to know why you call it unholy.
Yes. It's unholy because there's been every reason for them to walk apart. When you're committing a crime with someone, you're forced to protect that person. Because if he's exposed, in the course of investigation, you will be exposed as well. So I think that's the reason why they protect themselves. They've committed a lot of crimes together. They hide a lot of things together. So that marriage must not break apart. You understand? America will come out every day and talk about freedom and all sort of rubbish. And they watch France keep countries down for centuries. Keep quiet, for decades rather, and they keep quiet. If I'm a president, if I'm a Nigerian president, I walk to a president and I want to talk, that's the first thing I'll tell him. Tell them to leave us alone. I'm willing to listen to other things you have to say, but they must get away from our country. Properly. I'll call them out. So if you're not ready to communicate at that level, you know that there's nothing for us to discuss. Because when they realize, you know what they know. They don't like you. So for me, I'm better off knowing who my enemy is than to dining with them. So that's the problem we have with our leaders. They're not courageous enough to stand. Why? Because they're clothed in corruption. If I have nothing to hide in the West, I have no reason to visit. I'll tell you what, since after COVID, I've not left Nigeria. I said I have to learn to stay in this country.
Despite all the hulabaloo,
I've refused.
Insecurity.
I refuse to leave this country. Before, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a year, all over the place. But I've learned to stay here. And I can tell you for free that I've learned a lot of new things since I've been here.
Is it learning or you've lost a lot of businesses?
No, not businesses. We have the numbers. We have the numbers for business. They need us. They're even taking our manpower. Because their people are not willing and really. Okay, let me tell you what. There's a perception when we're young that white people are smart.
Oh yeah, we all grew up with that.
They are not smart.
No, they are not.
I've been in class with them. I've been in school with them. I've gone to Research Triangle. I've gone to Oxford University. I've seen people who are leading the way. You're with a white person in a company, you do something exceptional, they keep it there. The white guy does something not quite exceptional.
Yes.
We show him how to make it exceptional. It's an intentional thing to make white look superior to black. The same thing you hear about Christianity.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, as they call him, Yeshua, is not a white person.
No, it's not.
Peter is not the name of his disciple because there was no Peter in the Middle East.
Oh yeah, no Paul.
There's no Paul. There's no Matthew.
Thomas, no.
You understand why when I'm talking about clone? What I'm talking about?
Yes.
These are all falsifications. Now the question is for someone to go this depth to falsify what's his intention. It cannot be anything positive. It can't be. And our people say, it doesn't matter. It's not the same person in spirituality. What name you pronounce makes a lot of difference what you're saying. You can't say come and say, they understand I mean good. No. The spiritual world is a different thing. So they know exactly what they're doing with us.
Culturally, of course, it's obvious. They made us begin to understand that our language, our food, our behavior was not world standard or doesn't conform with.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where they got us. By giving us English names. Your children have English names.
Yes, they do, but they don't use it.
They don't use it. How?
Yeah, they answer their Igbo names. But because of me being a Catholic, they gave them English name during baptism. You know, as we grow older, we become more courageous to become who we are.
Yeah.
So
I, for one.
For me, English names is colonialism.
Maybe you never seen any man answering Chidi.
So I don't know. Okay, why would they paint a white Jesus Christ when they know he's black?
It's not part of the same.
That's the same way they're coming to it. When they take out, there's in humanities they say thought. A language is embodied in thought.
Yes.
Thought is embodied in language. You can only think of what you can actually say. By killing our language and our culture.
Yeah.
They're reducing our ability to and evolve.
So unless you can speak, and that's where I salute you for bringing out that thing about China, shutting its doors.
Yes.
China, all their inventions, technology are all in Chinese language.
Inside, yes.
And when they went to India, the leader there, Mahatma Gandhi, you can do everything with us.
Don't touch our language.
Don't touch our language.
We're the most hospitable people in the world.
See, our hospitality has landed us in hospital.
I go to the embassy or I come into the port of entry in any country and you ask me my name. I'll give you the full Igbo name. They say, don't you have? I say, no. This is my name. I've never asked you to give me an Igbo option of your name. I speak English, I'm not speaking well. How many white people can speak Igbo? I'm superior to them.
Mm-hmm.
I have an advantage over you. Mm-hmm. However I speak it, you must understand it. If not, I will say it in Igbo.
I think I've had opportunity or privilege of telling a white man like that in around London, New York. So I have an accent. That's who I am.
That's your identity.
I don't have to speak like you.
No.
Because I was looking at me.
I will not make any effort in that direction.
I don't make any effort.
That's the third thing when you ask me about what to change in Nigeria.
Yes.
We speak our local language. We communicate, make our speeches in our local language.
That's going to be very difficult.
It's very possible.
Because we've never believed in ourselves.
It's very possible.
And the locality of localizing our language.
The journey of 1,000 steps is always starts with one. Okay? So it's not easy. I will agree with you. But it's possible. So whenever I indulge in anything, I don't look at the ease. I look at the possibility and the value behind the action. So life has never been made to be easy. Things that are easy are of no value. If you print dollars and share 10 bags of dollars to every Nigerian, dollar becomes trash. So it's a relative scarcity of anything that makes it.
That's what I want to agree with you on that because in a discussion with friends and those I interact with, somebody was able to start. Told me the dictionary compiled by the white man, abuse, misabuse, misappropriation. They have misappropriated in their countries, and that's why they put it.
They know the value, they know the meaning. Corruption is not an Igbo word.
Yes.
So they know what corruption is.
Yes.
So they stop attributing it to our people. Whatever we do here is a mirror of what. There's once, there was a killing in my village. Or rather in my village. Someone was killed. So I had a nurse, my auntie's friend that was visiting from the US. She's white. So people were talking, they're killing here. They were telling her the story. And they kill someone that is dangerous. She said, killing someone is not dangerous. What was the killing? Was it cult? Was it gang? Was it this? And they thought it was a horror story to her, to hear that there was a killing. She told them that she was from Chicago. They shoot people every 10 seconds.
Nobody reports it.
If you sit in downtown in Chicago, you hear police siren every second going off. And it's a crime being committed. Nobody tells you that about America. They won't show you that part.
I have seen giant rats in New York.
New York, bigger than the ones here.
In fact, they to swallow the ones here.
Yes.
Pharaoh's rat and American rat. But it's part of a way of bringing down the black people, the continent, and so on. So there's always been that big elephant in the room.
Every single thing they say should be taken with a pinch of salt.
Yes.
There's an intention behind every word that comes from the West.
Is that where you situate this same-sex marriage and so on? Because
that one is, I think, is beyond physical. I want to understand that there's something behind it. People are thinking it's population control. The less men marrying women, there will be less humans. But I also think, I think it's something spiritual. I don't understand that.
Maybe.
It's
because any African country does not tread that path, it's cut off.
Yes.
Maybe there's a loan that just been given to Nigeria under, is it Spoon or something?
Yeah,
like
that president signed.
Yes.
Signing to protect gay rights. To get the
Do you have some information about it?
I don't have the details. But I know what it is. They were looking for ways incursion into gay this thing here, but it will never work here. We're original.
We like our women.
We're original human beings. Let me take you through that.
Okay.
Everybody in the West from history, migrated from here. The planet we live in was one landmass. It wasn't broken in bits. In the course of evolution and the Earth evolving, there was some move in the cross and we separated. The history has it that these people, and they know this truth. They travel from here to where they are today. They were hunting, and then somehow they got trapped. And the weather factors and everything informed them to the way. So we were originally created for the planet. We're still in the natural state of human being. Okay. That's why we're able to take the sun, survive through diseases they can't survive through. And I think in the spiritual realm as well, we're closer to God. If we pull on Christianity or any other faith, you see exactly what I'm talking about. So they are contaminated. I have this ideology that we don't exist alone on planet Earth.
Tell me about it.
I believe there are people elsewhere. I strongly believe that.
People elsewhere. Is it with this translation about people who have drowned and came back after many years and said
I've not physical evidence of those. I don't talk about them. What I mean, we have the solar system.
Okay.
Every star represents a sun. So our own, we have solar systems around every sun. It's been proven scientifically. So for every star we see, there's a solar system around it. Who says that the planet occupying the position planet Earth occupies in each of the solar systems do not have life on it? All the stories are around aliens. Why can't they be transparent and open about it? There's something they know they don't want us to know. The truth is that I have lost confidence totally in any information coming from the West. So that way, everything they tell me.
So how can we now make others? How can we make others, educated and uneducated ones, lose confidence?
We don't have to educate our people with their own knowledge. Education also evolves.
Yeah.
As a need for you to be educated in something, just learning about something. That's what education is. We learn based on things that are necessary for us to learn around us. Why do we have to learn what they are learning? We can evolve in our own way. You see, some people say, if the white man didn't come here, we wouldn't have had cars. Who told you that? Maybe we would have been walking on food and living longer. The bad aspect of the evolution is coming. The radiation from all the equipment
Yes.
is beginning to kill us.
Yes.
The processed food is beginning to kill us.
In fact, it's been killing us.
So probably we would have been better off swallowing our fufu and, farming our crops with manure instead of the chemicals they brought to us. They have a challenge. They can use fertilizer in their land that is not arid. So they can grow enough crops in 3 months of summer. We don't need that, actually. We had enough growing here. So they're injecting what works for them here. Democracy, let me believe, if it's not a colonial tool as well,
yes,
that is an evolution, courtesy of their need. It's not our own need. We're doing okay how we had our representations. What we call this legislative system was existing in Igbo land for centuries before this came here.
Yeah, from the family.
Every family had a representative in the meeting.
In the meeting, yes.
Everyone had a representative in the bigger system.
Yes.
So we had our ways that we were working. We were not fighting wars. They were the ones fighting wars. We were peaceful. We were sufficient. What did we need them for? To help with their education, we didn't need it.
But Igbos had
a form of education.
They had it, and Igbos also evolved a more appropriate word for election. Ndorondoro.
Yes.
Just like impunity, mpo.
Yes.
Mpo is impunity.
You see, one very simple way.
So there's a likelihood that it took a lot of things from here.
Of course they did.
When they had contact with our people.
Of course they did. No, the first recorded street lights in the world was Benin.
Benin, yes. That I've read that in books.
Masquerade is a barbaric thing.
But then the thing is,
there's Santa Claus.
In fact, there's
Santa Claus.
We are trying to round up, but the thing is this: bringing many issues now, just like the Halloween and so on.
Yes.
If it was
an African thing,
they say we are too
demonic
fetish and so on.
Yes.
Anyway, let's end it here. But you'll be on this program again. Chilaka and Joko, it's been a pleasure having you on the KOK Live podcast on Afia TV. We could talk more on this. In fact, there's no end to this topic. But then, whatever has a beginning has an end. So that's what we round up for today. Thank you for joining us. There are more topics, more outstanding.
So, another Haramo, that is the end of the show. Just 1 or 2 comments and everything is no more. At Michael Melody said, I'm loving this platform already. Mbaka Ku Enes said, I grab a lot from this show. And according to Ukebu Namo, I have learned a lot on this program. Kudos to you all. Mr. Oba America said, KOK, Mama, you need publicize this your show. Maybe adding short clips to other social media platforms with link to this YouTube channel. Our needs liberation of the mind first. Our present consciousness is more than Western education or Western than Africa. Please keep bringing guests that will educate your people, or our people rather. You are a very experienced host and presenter. Awaiting this our brother Toko. And according to Ibokwe Victor, he said KOK, that is Kanayo. Please make this podcast more public. Your gate is so sound, and I must applaud his submission and insights. At Afimilik, he said, Chilaka is a gem, my dear. I really enjoyed the show myself also. Ugu Francis said, I love this. Gallant vibes. Nice program, Omunem. Say make everybody key in. Adamala Owudumi said, hope the Kabas will allow this program to grow. Maybe tomorrow now they will shut it down and tell you it is against the government. Anyway, make on a like, share, comment, and keep subscribing to my channel. Kemesiano.